Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week. It's been a great week of trading, and actually the last couple of weeks, if not a couple of months, the last 3 months have been great trading months, as we have been on a trend on most of the pairs, and especially the pound pairs and the euro pairs. So much money there on the market. All right, so we're going to be looking at something very interesting. The structures are very clear in the next coming week as well. So much money to be made. If you have not been making money in the last couple of weeks, you really need help, because the market has been favorable. It has been going as expected. You should be making a lot of money. If you're not making money, that means you are not ready to be a trader as yet, and you need training. All right, so if you're watching this video and you're only interested in specific pairs, you can go under the description of my video. If you click on any of my videos and go to the description, you will find that all the pairs that we're going to look at in this video are time-stamped. So you can go and click on the Show More tab. Let me just click here on Show Less first. So if you click on the Show More tab, you will find the timestamps for all the pairs that we are going to discuss here this morning, from the trade recaps that we're going to look at, and also the weekly analysis for each and every pair. So that makes it so much easier to follow and track. But don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to the channel as well. I'll appreciate that. So thank you, guys. Let's have a look now. On that very same video, under the description, you will find my contact details. You'll find my email address, my mobile number that you can use for Telegram or WhatsApp, as well as my Telegram channel. So there's nothing on the Telegram channel. There's only where I post the live webinar links. You'll also find my TradingView link there. You can follow me on TradingView. I will be posting a few charts in the next couple of weeks, but not necessarily trading charts, but mostly forecasting charts, as we do here on the webinar. So if you follow me on TradingView, you may find that as well. So please like and subscribe the video, follow me on TradingView, and you'll find some great analysis there. All right, so our next course, we're currently running the course now from the 5th of August. We'll be ending on the 15th of August. It's going very well. The next course is going to be on the 9th, from the 9th to the 19th of September. It's always a 10-day course. For more detail on the course, as far as the course content is concerned, the timing of the course, and everything related to the course, you want more detail about that, send me an email or contact me as per the contact details that you'll find on the description of the video, and I will send it to you. Even if you're not interested in joining us now, just so you can have any information on what we do, so I'll send that to you. All right, so let's get started with today's analysis. So don't forget, 9th to the 19th of September. 5th to the 15th of August is the current running course. Okay, so that's the information about the course. All right, so even if you don't, the course is still only in September. You can join at any time. The course is pre-recorded on videos, so you can start watching the videos immediately when you join us. So you don't have to wait for the live course in September or the current running course. Right, so let's start with the trade recaps. So what we use in our group is a Slack platform, and I'll be looking at this just now. So let's start with the trade setups that we have been looking at in the last couple of weeks. Some amazing trades that have played out. So let's have a look here at the latest one. So we discussed, let's start with gold. Gold has been amazing and has reached at 1,500 US dollar per ounce that we have been calling for the last couple of weeks. Last week I referred you to a video that I did last year from the 6th to the 10th of May. So if you watch that video, you will see that we have been trading gold to the upside from right at the bottom. And I'll show you the details just now. So if you look at this, this is when we were tracking the new gold setup. But this is not where it started. Let me show you where it started. That was the final trade. So let's have a look at where gold started. And these are the setups that we take in our group. So this is where gold started. We knew that gold from here was going to make a corrective structure and push higher. Okay, so you had a 3-wave pullback here, and I expected that we're going to get this and push higher. You can see the target has always been 1,500, but instead we didn't get to 1,500 because the market does not go in a straight line. What you got here was a little bit of a push here, and it made something like this. Okay, it also made something like this and made something like this. Eventually we got a triangle here. We got out of a triangle, we got a pullback here in 3 waves. This is the 3 waves that you see in the latest one, where we now went straight to the 1,500 mark in a straight line. And this is the money that we are looking for. There's no money here. That's a correction. There's no money here. The money is here on the impulse. We've reached that target now. We'll do the market analysis in a bit, so I'm not going to update that. So just look at how we have been tracking this. So that was the gold setup. That was the update. You see the triangle has formed. We're still looking for upside. We're still looking for that 1,500. Okay, we want it to give us an entry point. Gives us a triangle. Gives us a pullback. You can see the pullback and the update still on. You get the 3 waves now. That's the 3 waves that you get. 3-wave pullback. And then you're looking for this. You're still waiting for that one. And eventually you get that. You get that 3 waves pushing down, and then you get the 1,500. That is how we track it, and that is the update that our members get in the group. Okay, so 1,500 pips, very nice move. But if you see on that video that I'm referring to, 6th to 10th May, I will link it onto the video as well. 6th to 10th May, you will see that we did not only start looking at gold at around 1,300. We started looking at gold. Let me just go to gold full screen here. Gold, we started looking at it from right at the bottom. Let's have a look here at gold. And let me show you how practical trading is, and that it is not always perfect. Right, so this is what we were looking at. I'm gonna show you the weekly first. So if you remember, and if you've been following or watching the videos for the last couple of months, from last year, you'll remember that I was looking at this structure on gold, and I was looking for these to come and break the low here. I was looking for that to come and break the low here. It is not a requirement or a rule. It is a guideline that we use. We wanted it to break down here into this level so it can form this bigger flat correction. Now, what I had here, I was looking for this. I was looking for this to be a 1, 2, 3, and this was supposed to be a 4 that I was looking for. I didn't get that 4. I was looking for this first before I could get that move to the upside. What that meant that I was going to miss this first move, and that is okay. Right, so from the video on the 6th to the 10th May, you will see that from here, we were looking for that rest of the move. So from right around 1,300 to 1,500, that is the move that we got. We missed this one, but we got all of this. And this was now a high probable trade because you knew that after the impulse comes a correction, and after a correction, the gold had no other way to go but upside. And we have now reached the target, exited all positions, now looking for new entries depending on what the structure gives. So that is gold and has played out amazingly well. And that is the power of wave analysis. Okay, now for the last couple of weeks, I have been talking about the pound pairs being bearish, and I just kept emphasizing that you do not sell the pound pairs, and they have been pushing lower and lower. Now, a new trade setup that we took in the group, let's just have a look here. This was that latest gold trade setup when it played out. Now, the latest trade setup that we had in the group last week was this one. So most of the people don't know how to ride the trend. Now, you can see that here is pound US dollar. There are a number of trades that we took on pound US dollar. So I'm actually going to look at the one that we took first before we look at this one that we took in the week. So you've got the trend running, you know where the trend is going, but you just can't make money out of it. So let's have a look here. Let's look at pound US dollar. Pound US dollar. I want to look at the first trade because we've been riding this one to the downside. Let's look for pound US dollar. Yes, you can ask questions as you go along, but they should not be educational questions. If it's something easy to explain here, I will gladly answer those questions. All right, so this is the trade on pound. So the first one on pound, while riding this trend. So let's have a look here. So this was the first one. You can see here we got this entry here, entry point here, and then downside. And this is how it played out. Eventually, we reached that target. We actually reached that target fully, exited the trade, and the latest one that you see in this week is this one here. As the trend is writing, this is the new one. Right from the blue box, just in the blue box, and then it starts dropping like that. Okay, it has already dropped 180 pips, and this is how pound is going right now. Okay, so this is how pound is going. 180 pips, and the target is still far down. So now you don't go and enter just because I'm saying it's going down, because you're going to get a corrective. You may get a corrective structure here, and when it is correcting, you don't know how far it's going to correct. So you need to have a clear setup. This is what I mean by you can know the trend of a pair and still not be able to make a cent out of it if you don't have an entry strategy. And that is what we do in the group. You need to have an entry strategy. You need to know where to exit, when to move to break even. So that is pound US dollar. And another one that was amazing, that is now just a measly few pips from target, is pound is US dollar JPY. Let's have a look at US dollar JPY. You can see here on US dollar JPY, we wanted this one to just push up into the blue box and come down, and that is exactly how this one has played out. Has pushed up into the blue box. Let's have a look here at US dollar JPY. That is your setup. Right in the blue box, drop. You can see almost 300 pips in just a couple of days. 300 pips. We are here now. You're just missing this by a few pips. Can even exit this trade. Okay, as much as I do believe that this is still going to push lower, but this is our target now. It has been reached. So many pips in just a short space of time. An amazing trade. Okay, so that played out perfectly well. So that's why I'm saying, if you did not make money in the last couple of weeks, the market has just been trending down on the yen pairs, down on the pound pairs. You should have been making money. Okay, so the next one here is US dollar CAD. I will update this one during the market analysis. Has pushed up quite a bit. There may be a bit of a change in structure, but we'll do this during the market analysis. If you go check your charts, you'll see how that one has played out. Okay, and the other trade that has played out amazingly well, just to show you how to follow the trend. Let's look at pound yen. Looking at pound yen, I've shown this one last week. I just want to show you that you can just follow the trend and keep making money as the market is going down or it's going up. You just follow the trend. Let's look at pound yen. So pound yen, similar to pound US dollar, this was the first trade here. Right from the blue box, took it from the blue box, amazing strategy. Right from the blue box, let's get this one on here again. Let's get the updates here. So you get that from the blue box. The following week, I updated that you're going to get a corrective structure and drop. And indeed, that is exactly what happened. Corrected again. And that is what happened. Full target reached, exit the trade. This is now one trade. Next one, again, another blue box. Entry in the blue box, drops, plays out exactly as expected. That's what happened. And again, another one. You can see here, until we reach that full target. Although I believe that pound yen is still going to go even lower. If you go look at pound yen, you'll see that it is now around 127 area, and just a few pips. It's actually reached the target for that specific trade. Now, the target on pound yen now is at least to come down around this level, but we'll do this as we do the market analysis. So that is amazing. Now, how amazing these trades have been playing out, and that is the update that the guys in our group get. Now, the following is not trade setups, but rather forecasts. Look at what I discussed on Pound AUD and Pound New Zealand last week. It's amazing, and you'll see it as we do market analysis. Pound AUD. Now, if you look at Pound AUD last week, can you see here? Let's go closer. Okay, can only go so much. Last week I said, watch out, you need to get a correction this size, a correction this size, a correction this size. Okay, I thought this was going to take a couple of days, but it played out in just a single week, made this corrective move, and we are now dropping as expected. We're already at 300 pips from the drop, from the peak here, from the X peak. This is how this one has played out. Let's go now on to Pound AUD. Let's go look at Pound AUD, and that's the forecast, and now we've got this move to the downside. Let's look at Pound AUD. That is that WX that I drew before it, that we focused before it even happened. Can you see the size of the correction that I talked about? It was actually quite quick. I thought it was going to take long like the others. You can see this one takes a couple of days. This one was just was just 1 week. 1, 2, 3, expanding flat, and now we are dropping. And I did say that this was going to happen on the trend line. Okay, so let's see how this one goes now. We're expecting a big drop to the downside. Okay, look for entries. So there is also a possibility, that's why you need to use risk management, that this one makes a double again and then we come down. But as far as this looks very good for further downside. Okay, so that is how this one has played out. It's looking good already in the trade. Has already dropped 300 pips from the peak here. So that's from 181, we're already 177, already 300 pips drop here. Okay, so that is Pound AUD, and Pound New Zealand is similar, but we'll do that as we do the market analysis. And those are the trades that we have been looking at in the last couple of weeks. They've been playing out amazingly well. And there was also CHFJPY that has missed the target by just a few pips. Let's see if you can find it quickly on trade setups. This is the last one that we're going to look at now. If I can find it quicker. That is CHFJPY. You can see that's CHFJPY. That is the setup there. And we're looking for this one to be a corrective structure. And then a drop. Eventually on CHFJPY. CHFJPY, you had that correction. Let's have a look here. The correction that we were looking for comes up here. It actually makes a double corrective structure. Then after this one here, we got a blue box here, and then we got this one to drop here. And this is the updates, as you can see. That is the corrective structure forming there. It makes a double, and I show the double here. Same as USDJPY. We got into the blue box, and then we dropped up to this level. Okay. So this has actually pushed back higher. You can actually exit these trades because it can actually reverse from here. Okay. So you can actually exit this one. It's played out amazingly well as well. All right. So those are all the trades in the last couple of weeks, basically in the month of July. All right. So let's get started with today's market analysis. 2 questions on the chat box. Let me just have a look here. All right. Let's get started now. We're going to start looking at Bitcoin. Let's look at Bitcoin. So there's something very interesting with Bitcoin. Let's have a look at Bitcoin here. Very, very interesting on Bitcoin. Those that have been following my analysis or videos in the last couple of months or years will remember an analysis that we did on Euro US dollar. So let's see here. I want to bring in 2 charts. Left hand side is going to be Bitcoin and the right hand side is going to be the Euro. We're looking at Bitcoin, but I want to show you repeated chart patterns. Okay, so look at Euro. We're on the daily, but first look at it. Okay, let me show you these chart patterns on the weekly first. Very interesting stuff. Euro US dollar on the right hand side. I want it on the weekly. Something very amazing here, very, very amazing. And I've done this from last year when we were tracking the current euro down move. Okay, I see this comment on the chat box. Let me just check it quickly. There's a comment by Brian. He says, I woke up at 3:30 a.m. in Canada for this. You are so good. Thank you, Brian. Good morning, Canada. Okay, so let's look at this pattern, and you're gonna see it repeated every single time. Right, so here you see right at the peak from 2008 on euro, you have this three-wave move coming down here. This is the three-wave move coming down like this, and then you get a pullback. So from that pullback, you get a push down and a pullback, and then the rest comes down. Now, remember this structure. It's three waves down, pullback, and then the move comes down. This was the first one. Now we're gonna look at this peak here, at this next peak here. You'll see the exact same pattern. I'm going to show you the reason why we're looking at this now. So let's go now to 2017 and look at that similar pattern. Let's go to the daily now so we can see it clearly. Remember, the analysis here is not Euro US dollar, it is Bitcoin, but we're looking at Euro US dollar for the patterns, repeated patterns. Now look at this one here. Let's go, I'll go 8 hour here. Let's go on the 8 hour. Now this is now 2017. Now 2017, you get a three-wave move down, you get a pullback, and the move, and then you get all the way down. Can you see it's a similar pattern? It's a similar pattern. Now again, recently 2018, that was last year on Euro US dollar. This is the current one now, the current down move. You get three-wave move down, a pullback, and the move come. What happens to the move? It goes all the way down. Doesn't just do that, it makes one and a pullback, and then it goes down for all the patterns. If you look at the next one here, at the previous one as well, it did exactly the same thing. A move down, a pullback, goes down one, pulls back, and then comes down. Not forcing this, so let me show you this one. Let me show you this clearly so you can see it's not forced. Three-wave move down. This 1, 2, 3, down, pull back, push lower, push back, and then downside. Again, the current one, this is what happened. I'm just showing you again so you can see what I mean by this repeated pattern. 1, 2, 3, down, pull back, red, push down, pull back, and then the rest is a down move. You know about this one. Okay, the first one that I showed you on the weekly. Let's go weekly again so you can see. The weekly one. You can see the weekly one from 2008. Repeated patterns. They keep repeating themselves. 3 down, pull back. What happens to the red? It goes down, pulls back, and then comes down. See that? Now, what are we looking at on Bitcoin? If you look at Bitcoin and you look at the structures that have been repeating themselves on the euro, let's go daily on the euro so you can see the structure and how similar it is. I think by now you can already see what I'm looking at. Can you see that pattern again? Repeated patterns. 1, 2, 3 down. Remember, right hand side is the euro. 1, 2, 3 down. Pull back in 3 waves. What are we looking for? Down in red, pull back, and then this big move came down. Okay, so now Bitcoin, I'm seeing an exact same pattern. I see 1, 2, 3 down. I see a pullback here in 3 waves. What are we expecting? There may be a big move that comes here. So if we get this pulsing move and this one doing this, we may be getting a bit of a reversal on Bitcoin. I know the analysis for this in the last couple of weeks, we were looking for a continuation pattern here. But this does not look like a continuation pattern. It looks like we're going to pull back much deeper than we expected. Just by looking at these patterns, I've shown you 3 different patterns on $1 euro US dollar pair. Now we're seeing this similar pattern on Bitcoin, and it's also possible to have that structure. Okay, so this gives you a bit of confidence that if we get this, and it looks like we've already started this pulsing move here on Bitcoin. If we get this pulsing move here and we get this pullback here, Bitcoin may have a very deep move back to the downside. Forget the number here. I'm not focusing the exact number here. We're still going to go to the monthly so you can see where this one comes from. Let's go now. One screen. We can remove the euro now and go one sheet. Okay, so we've got this one. If we go to the monthly, you will see that Bitcoin is currently in this move. If we were to look at this to be a corrective structure on its own, and that is a completed one, it will be too small compared to this big move that we've already had from right at the bottom. So this looks very small. So possibilities are that we're going to have that structure pulling back like this, doing that 1, 2, 3. Let's do this here. So this is the monthly now, and this is the forecast here. If you remember, this is the correction that we forecasted for the whole of last year. Now you could be having, this one has gone up in an impulsive manner. So we could get this one correcting here, doing something like this, doing something like this, and getting a deeper corrective structure here. Okay, to just forget these numbers, I'm just focusing here. So, and showing that we're going to have a deeper corrective structure, and then this one can then push higher. Okay, so that is the analysis on Bitcoin. So let's see in the next week, the immediate move on next week. We're just looking for one more down. Let's look for one more down on Bitcoin, and I'm sure the rest of the cryptocurrencies are going to follow. And if you look on the 4-hour, looks like we've got a corrective structure here that will propel this downside. Okay, so just be careful also, because this looks pretty corrective. So it may do one up before we start going to the downside. So get this one to confirm downside first before you start trading this to the downside. Otherwise, it can just go from here. Very interesting. Right, so let's have a look. Yes, that is Bitcoin. Now let's look at Litecoin and the rest of the cryptocurrencies. Just want to put in a line here. Okay, trendline traders will like that one. Okay, so we should start dropping here on Bitcoin. Now, Ethereum. So this is what we're going to be looking at. So I'm looking for a bit of a drop here on Ethereum. The current structure, we've reversed here. We've got this one here, 1, 2, looks like we're going to have a 3 here, a move up, and then all the way down. Okay, so this corrective structure on Ethereum, let's just switch this on off here. That's what we have on Ethereum. Corrective structure, and then we're looking for downside. So we're looking for a bit of a pullback here, see what happens when we get to this level, and then we should have a bit of a bounce here. That is Ethereum. Let's just go daily on Ethereum, just so we can see the structure clearly. So Ethereum could be a start of a corrective structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull back here, deep pullback, and then a move like this. So we should be seeing quite a deep corrective structure and a bit of a reversal on the Ethereum as well. Okay, so that is Ethereum, and that is what we'll be expecting, a bit of a pullback here, not a bit, quite a deep pullback, by the way. Okay, and Litecoin. Litecoin similar, you can see we've got also a pulsing move here, and now we're starting a corrective structure here. That corrective structure looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we'll expect a deeper corrective structure and then a move like this. Okay, so be careful if you're still selling Ethereum, Litecoin, or Bitcoin, that there may be one more up first before we go. Okay, or a deeper corrective structure is coming through here on the cryptos. So let's watch this one in the next couple of trading sessions. And then Ripple. Looks like with this current move, you can see that they all made 4 waves to the downside. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're looking for the 5th wave to complete to the downside. So with Ripple, this 5th wave should come to this level that we've been watching for the last couple of weeks, and then have that bounce that we have been looking for before we come down. Okay, so that was what we have been expecting. We'll be looking for this one to come down to this level here, the 24 level. Let's go weekly on Ripple as well, so you can see the higher degree structure. So the structure here is 3 waves down, push up. We're looking for this one to come down in 3 waves, push back up, do that, and then push higher. So this is what the structure internally that we're looking for here. You've got a 1 here. You've got this corrective structure here. And we're looking for this one. This is the 4th wave. You're looking for this one, 5th one, to come down here and maybe a bit of a bounce here. And then you get the structure like this. So this is a Ripple, and that's the structure that you'll be looking for. And I'm showing you a weekly view here. So it should be quite a number of pips to the upside. Okay. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. It can push a little bit lower. It can. So somebody's asking, can you go below 2.24? It can, depending on the structure that you will be looking at there. Okay, so that is a Ripple. Now let's go on to the indices. The indices last week, let's look at the S&P 500 and look at the daily. We had pulsing moves to the downside. Let's go for hour. We had pulsing moves to the downside last week. Let's go auto. This is what we had last week. We said we're going to have a corrective structure and then a drop. That's what we got. We got the corrective structure and then a drop. Okay, now we've got a pulsing move here. Expect another corrective structure here and a bit of a push higher. Okay, so I'm not showing the full analysis here. So we're supposed to be going for the last wave 5 here. If you go on the daily, we're supposed to be going on the last wave 5. So this could end up as a diagonal. It could end up as a diagonal like this, ending diagonal in wave 5, doing something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Okay, then we get a deeper corrective structure after the wave 5. So this looks like that's what's going to happen now. That's why I'm expecting that we're going to have a bit of a corrective structure and a push higher. Okay, so that's what we're looking at on S&P 500, because this is wave 5. And if you look on the weekly, let me show you the weekly here. That is how we forecasted that wave 5. Let's show the analysis here. So excuse the clutter here. So this has been the wave 4 here. Let's switch off here. Just see that this corrective structure was wave 4. 1, 2, 3, and then we're looking for this one to be a wave 5. So this wave 5 could end as an ending diagonal. And then after that, we should expect a deeper corrective structure. Now, if you look at this is a textbook 5-wave structure. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. This is, sorry, not like that. This is 1, correction. This is 3, 4, and a 5. Internally, you've got, again, another 3 waves. 1, 2, this is what we like to call a lower degree structure, fractals. 3, 4, 5. You can see that this fits exactly and nothing forced there. This is 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, and a 5. 1, 2, internally lower degree, 3, 4, and a 5. And that is S&P 500. We call this a nest. We call this a nest. The reason why this is called a nest, you can see that the first degree, the blue degree, is almost similar in size with the lower degree. That is called a nest. All right, so that is S&P 500, and you'll see that the rest of the structures are similar as well. Let's go to the rest of the rest of the indices. Okay, I see you guys are asking a lot of questions. I won't be able to focus on that. Let me finish the analysis here first. All right, so that is the S&P 500, the Dow here. Let's look at the Dow. Same as the S&P 500, you had a pullback. Now we're looking for this one, a bit of a push higher. We could be getting a diagonal there as well. So similar. So the Dow is similar. NASDAQ should be similar as well. You already have that push down and a pulsing move to the upside. Expect a bit of a corrective structure and a push higher in the next week as well. Now the Nikkei. Let's look at the Nikkei. Nikkei, also the drop. Looks like we've got a bit of a push to the upside here. Let's look at this one here. Expect the next move to be this in the next week. All right. UK 100. So the UK 100 has made this pulsing move here. Let's switch this off here. Has made this pulsing move here to the downside, a bit of a push higher. This one can correct here and make a push higher. So overall, this may just be making a deeper corrective structure. So this is just a focused, and then we can get another move to the upside. So it has made a three-way move to the upside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C could be coming there, and then the resumption of the trend to the upside. This 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. A, B, C, that's what we're expecting here. Okay, so we've got a bit of a push higher here. So let's have a look here. So this can just be a corrective structure. You can see here it went up in 3 waves. Could come back down here, do something like this, and get a deeper corrective structure. I don't think this will be all. It may make another one to make a double. Then make a downside move before pushing higher. Okay, you can see that the UK 100 has made a sort of gone sideways while the others were retracing back. Okay, so let's see how that one goes. That will be an A, B, C structure here coming down, and then the resumption of the trend to the upside. DAX, similar to the UK 100, has made a move up in 3 waves. Looks like we're coming down here, bit of a corrective structure, come down here. So we should be going sideways on the DAX and the UK 100. Okay, also this one can also make a double here. 1, 2, 3, 4 could be the 5 here, and then the resumption of the trend like this to the upside. That is the DAX sideways in the next coming sessions. NIFTY. So the NIFTY, a bit of a pullback here. NIFTY, we're looking at this overall structure. I'm looking at this structure here. 1, 2, 3. So even this pullback, if this is a pullback, this one could still be coming down. That can just be a corrective structure there. Bit of a pullback and then drop. Let's see how this goes. So this pullback, you can see there's an impulse. It can do that. 1, and then we come down here like that. Similar to what we had here, and then come down here. So that is the NIFTY. Expect this one to continue to the downside. I believe this is a pullback, and we're going to come down. All right, so that is NIFTY. Right, so now let us go into the US dollar pairs. I think that is all the indices. We didn't miss anything there. So now let's look at the US dollar pairs, the majors. Euro US dollar. So Euro US dollar, let's go to the daily. Very interesting Euro US dollar. You can see that it has reversed exactly from the blue box that we have been forecasting. Now, it looks very convincing for upside because the DXY, you will see the DXY looks like it is downside as well. Let's just take this one off. This was just, this is on the weekly, so let me just make sure that it's only visible on the weekly. I don't want it on the lower degree. I want it on the weekly only. Okay, so we had a downside, an impulsive move here to the downside on Euro. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5. We're expecting this to have ended as a diagonal, and this is your diagonal there. That is the diagonal in wave 5. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You can see the structure here of a diagonal. It's 1, it's 2, it's 3, it's 4, and 5. Now we're expecting, no, I should not have used that degree. I wanted to use red. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Messing it up again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I want you to be able to see. So we forecasted that we're going to reverse from the blue box. We already are over 100 pips from the blue box. Let's switch off the numbers here. We've already forecasted that we got a reverse from the blue box, and that is exactly where that has happened. Now, last week I said, wait for this to confirm, and it looks like it is confirming now that if we get this to correct, you are going to get that corrective structure. The only thing that you don't know about the corrective structure is how big it's going to be and what kind it's going to be. So here we've got a corrective structure. This is the entry point after it is confirmed, and then we're going to get something like this, possibly something like this, and a big corrective structure that corrects the whole move before the resumption of the trend lower, because the structure here is that this is going to be an A, this is going to be a B, and then we're going to look for a C. Now, if we were to label this, this will be lower degree wave A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, and the 5, which is your diagonal. Okay, 1. If you wanted numbers here, you'll have 1, 2, 3 lower degree in the diagonal, 4, and then a 5, and like magic, it reverses from the blue box. Okay, so let's go closer and look at this. I'm going this in detail because it's looking very good. So we need to get one more confirmation for this to resume the trend to the upside on the 4-hour. Looks very good, looks like a very nice corrective structure. Don't know which one it's forming yet. Looks like it may be forming a triangle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a push higher. So you may be looking at this one to be a triangle and a push higher. Okay, pulsing move, correction, and then we'll be looking for this one to go up. Now you can see that this move here is not as convincing as the one that is on the dollar index. So that is the trade that you'll be looking for in the next week. You'll be looking for entry here and for a bit of a move to the upside here. So you may get 1, 2, 3, and a deeper correction before you actually go higher, because you'll be correcting here. Remember, you'll be correcting. Okay. So let's have a look here on the DXY. The DXY, let's go daily. You'll see that it's exactly the same structure. A pulsing move to the upside now, because that is the inverse. Let's show the structure. So the DXY is it's a lot more convincing, because that correction that we're looking at, that we want to be broken, the triangle on the Euro US dollar, is this structure, but on the DXY it is already broken, and we're looking for this one to come and make this structure. You see, so that is what we're going to be looking at. The DXY is already confirmed. It's already pushing lower, so the euro should push higher in the next coming session. So you have also on the DXY 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, and then it looks like we are now already coming down with this move. Okay, so the DXY is already out of its triangle, so the euro should follow in the next week. Okay. Right, so let's go through the rest. All very clear structures. As you can see there, let's have a look. There was Euro, US dollar CAD. I showed you Euro, US dollar CAD last week. Okay, so this move to the upside is not looking so convincing anymore. So let's have a look here on the daily. We may get a drop here. So you can see that I have been expecting this to go all the way up, to go reach us the top here. So now if we look at this, let's switch this off. There's a possibility that this move that you see here, 1, 2, 3 down, could be a 1, 2, 3 down here first before we push higher. In any case here, we had missed the blue box, which is around in here in this area. So if this starts dropping from current levels, we'll expect it to reverse again from the blue box and push higher. Okay, we're in the trade now for upside, so we're gonna need to manage that trade for downside. So we had this one correcting here like this in 3 waves, got this push to the downside. As we have been saying, this is not the move that will go all the way down because it's coming down in 3 waves. This is WX, this is going to be Y. Now, if this comes down here, we'll go into the blue box and push higher. Let me show you where the blue box is. This is where the blue box is. We missed it by a few pips, so that means it may still be coming down here before we go higher. And the structure will be this one here, 3 waves down, 3 waves back, 3 waves down, WXY in green, and then we push higher from the blue box. Okay, so let's watch and see here if this comes down here. All right, so that is US dollar CAD. You don't do anything there and you just watch it and see it play out. US dollar CHF, very interesting structure. I've been looking at US dollar CHF just trading the opposite of what Euro US dollar was doing because the structure was not clear. And that is what you do. And we've got a full module on market correlation as part of our course. And you cannot trade wave theory, you cannot trade the market without understanding the correlation of the market and the strength of the correlation between the pairs. Now, what are we looking for on CHFJPY? I've got take this off here. Now, US dollar CHF, not CHFJPY, guys. US dollar CHF on the daily, we are now looking for this structure here, this one here, and I'm looking for a push higher. Why am I looking for this? So for the last 2 years, I've been looking at this big diagonal on US dollar CHF. I'll show you on the forecast here. Let's go to US dollar CHF. So most of the pairs, majors, and most of the pairs that we trade, you'll find them pinned on their channels in our Slack group with their wave counts. So I'm looking now for US dollar CHF. So that is the benefit that you get from being in our group. You get wave counts for long-term analysis. So this is US dollar CHF and the structure that we are now looking at. This is on the weekly. I've just been trading this one to the downside, looking at the euro going up, and this is what we still expect. We're expecting this one to come to this level and resume this trend lower after the euro completes its move to the upside. So euro up, CHF down, US dollar CHF down. What are we looking at? 1, 2, 3, 4. Expecting the wave 5 of the ending diagonal to complete there, then we'll expect a deeper correction to correct the whole thing. So we should have a big B corrective structure in blue. As you can see there, I've got an A. I've got an A there. So now the structure is clearer. It didn't make sense because I just wanted this one to do this and complete the wave 5 previously. But then when it started going sideways, it didn't make any sense. That's why we were just trading it against the euro, because they're inversely correlated. So you need to have a full knowledge of how price moves relative to other pairs as well. So that is US dollar CHF. Look for corrective structure and move to the downside. Pound US dollar. That is the trade that I showed you that we are now looking. I'm gonna do the when we do the pound pairs, I'm gonna show you all 6 pound pairs in one screen and just show you where we are currently. So for now on pound US dollar, I'm just gonna show you the setup that we looked at in trade setups. This is what we have, and the target is this one here. So we're still looking for continuation patterns to the downside up until this area, up to 1.9. Okay, already a 180 pips drop from the blue box here on pound US dollar. So this was the setup. I've shown you the setup in the beginning, and this is what you do when you ride the trend. You need to know what you are selling against, and we've got the blue box magic strategy. That's what I like to call it. And this is something that you don't really see if you don't have the experience. What I saw here was this 3 wave move back here, and then we sold there. 180 pips later, that's what it looks like. Very, very interesting trade. Does not even give you pain, does not even go into the into negative towards your stop loss. It's one of those inch perfect trades. That's how the blue box works. So we'll do the rest of the pound pairs as we go along. All right, so Audi US dollar. Now, Audi US dollar expect further downside. We may have let's just have a look here on Audi US dollar. I don't want to look at the 1 hour. I want to look at the 4 hour. So we've got a pulsing move here. So this one could push a little bit higher with the euro US dollar, but it won't go all the way. So because that will look like just a three-wave pullback and a move to the downside. Okay. I'll show you a weekly view in the next video of Audi US dollar. It looks very interesting. I'm just going to show you the picture, but I'm not going to go into the detail now. That is Audi US dollar weekly view, looking very interesting there. You can just take a snapshot of that and go study it if you're interested. So that is the weekly view on Audi US dollar. Okay, so expecting that after this we could have a bounce here and then the last move here. Take a snapshot and you'll see how clear that is. New Zealand, similar. We are now at this critical level where you could have this one bouncing here, doing this and coming down here. Okay, so let's see what's going to happen here. If we get a corrective structure here, we will be looking to come to this level. And that will be a 5-wave move, 11 swing sequence, not a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but a WXYXZ move. Okay, so let's see how that plays out. It looks like that is what we're going to get. Let's go to the daily. So for now, there isn't really a trade on Audi or on New Zealand US dollar, except to target the lower here. So this current pullback here is nothing but a 3-wave move that can just do this like Audi US dollar and come down here. So no reversal as yet. This has been dropping. Although I did not take a trade here, this has been dropping and I'm looking for this one to come down here to this level. So this downside on Audi and New Zealand, I have not been trading. So let's see how it goes. We're actually on this critical level here. But I believe that that's still going to be broken for this level here. That's New Zealand. Now US dollar ZAR is going very well. We're looking to target this 1570 area. Okay. Looking for this to target the 1570 area, wherein we expect that this is going to reverse back to the 13s and then push higher. Okay, you can take a snapshot of that. I have explained this one a couple of weeks. You can even go to the last week's video to understand why. Initially, I was looking for this to come down here and then push higher. Okay, so we are now looking at this to have been an expanding flat here. 1, 2, 3. Running flat. You can see it's an exhibition of flat corrective structures. A, B, C, W, X. You're looking for the Y to complete there. Taking this top here. Then we'll expect this one to do that and then push higher. So the whole thing here is going sideways and it's a corrective structure. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. All right, somebody said I must check my bottom of my screen, so just hold on a second, guys. All right, so we're looking at this one here. Let's see here if I still have it. So that is the structure that we're looking at on US dollar ZAR, on US dollar ZAR. This has all been a sideways move. We do here. Let's clear this and just put in the labelings for those that are interested in the labelings. So it's 3 waves move down, 3-wave move down, W, X, and we look for a Y to come down here. Okay, internally you could have again A, B, C structure. A, B, and a C. Here you would have W, X, Y. So that means this one should pull back once before going up higher so that it can be 3 waves. Right, so that's the structure on US dollar ZAR, looking good. Not good for the South African rand against the dollar in the long term. Okay, so that is US dollar ZAR, and that's all the US dollar pairs. Right, so let's go to the yen pairs. Pound yen. Pound yen, the next target is 124. You're looking for this one to come down here. It has made a three-way move to the upside. Three-way move to the upside. 1, 2, 3 up. Looking for the three-way move down here. There is a possibility of a bounce here, and you'll see with all the yen pair, pound pairs, they're all at these critical areas. They are all at these critical areas. I already have that blue line here. Let me take off the current one here. I already have this one here. Let's move it a bit higher. Okay, so what we have here, we've got three-way move to the upside. It's an A, it's a B, it's a C move. Okay, here you've got an A, you've got a B. Okay, this one has changed slightly. This is actually going to be a WXY structure. It's going to be something like this. Three waves down, WX, and looking for the Y there. So this is going to be out here. Let's update it while we're here. Take this off. And your structure is going to be something like this. WXY structure. And we'll look for a bounce at this level. You'll see all the pound pairs are approaching this critical level. This is the next target on pound yen. On pound yen, you're looking for 124, around 124 area, a bit of a bounce from there. Okay, so I'll explain what the next move, what the perceived next move is on the pound pairs as we go along. So as far as this is concerned, we're still continuing to the downside up until that level in the next coming session as well. We're still coming down. So there's just been continuation patterns to the downside. You see three-way move here, three-way move there. You see another one there, you take it down. Okay. US dollar yen, we already looked at this one during trade setups. We're just waiting for this one to reach this target here. I believe it's still going to push lower. Let me show you the long-term view here on US dollar JPY. We've got a long-term view. This is the one here. So this is the current move. The current move is what we have been trading. Can you see here? This is the weekly view, no, daily view. And that is what we are expecting here, this to do, to come down here at this level. We are very close to this level. We're very close to this level. Are we going to get this bounce? Let's see how this one goes when we reach the target. When you reach the target, you exit the trade and look for a new entry if it's going to continue like this. But I will update that as we go along. For now, you just want the target and exit the trade. And this helps you a lot if you've got these wave counts. Okay, so this is US dollar JPY. The rest is US dollar JPY, Euro yen. Expect this one. I'm only going to go to the lower time frame. Expect this one to continue lower. Possibility of a bounce here and a move to the downside. But I don't really expect this. I expect this one to just keep going because this looks like a three-wave move to the upside and continuation to the downside. So let's look at it in the 1 hour. You'll see that it is actually three waves. You see, it's a three-wave move. So it's not an impulse. So this can still come down here. But the way this is coming down here, it could be 3 up, 3 back, 1 up, and then continuation to pattern to the downside. We may get a nice entry here for one more down on Euro yen if we see any bounce to the upside. So the Euro US dollar move to the upside may pull this one to the upside. And then we'll look for something like this. Chief, we had a trade on this one. You can see that this was the target. We have not reached that target. You can actually exit this trade because you can have a bounce here. Don't know how this one is going to go. Okay, so that is CHFJPY. Nothing new there, nothing new to do, no new trade. This actually should keep pushing lower like this. Retesting this low here. Audi. This looks like a running flat on Audi. And you've got this move to the downside. It's three waves. Expect a bit of a pullback and you take the move to the downside like that. New Zealand, similar to Audi. You already have this one coming down here. Let's have a look on the long-term view so we don't just show the small structures. We've broken these January lows here, still showing signs of continuation. So let's see where the target will be on this one. This one can actually still bounce from current levels. But for now, wait for this corrective structure at this current level. I believe that this was gonna make a bit of a deeper corrective structure on the line, and then we'll look for downside here. Okay, that is New Zealand yen, not very clear. Rather leave this one for now. CAD, looking to come down here. January lows still correcting. We're looking for this to come down here to make 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and then 3-wave move to the downside. So you already have this one pulling down here. I actually expected, this is the move that I expected initially on pound, on CAD yen. I was expecting that this was going to do this, push higher, and then come down here like that. Okay? That was the previous analysis. So we're looking at this 3 waves down, 3 waves up. Now you're looking for this one to come down like that. So we may be getting pullbacks here on the yen pairs in the next coming sessions. Right? That is CAD yen. Now let us look at the pound pairs. As I said, I'm going to do a correlation analysis on all the pound pairs now. So let's put all the, at least maybe 6 pound pairs in 4 pound pairs in one screen, so you can see the correlation. Let's go and put 4 of them on the same screen. Okay, top right hand corner is pound CHF. Let's put in the others. Bottom right hand corner is euro pound. It's also a pound pair. Top left, we'll put pound US dollar. Bottom left, we will put pound CAD. Okay, I just want to look at these 4 only. And I'm going to go to the weekly on all of them. Weekly on pound US dollar as well. Let's go full screen so you can see it clearly. Okay, so we are at very critical levels here on the pound pairs. Let's get this one here. So bottom left, you can see I've got pound CAD. Top left, I've got pound US dollar. And pound CHF on the right hand side. Okay, so we are at these critical levels on all the pound pairs. Let's get a blue color here. They've either already reached these levels or they are approaching. Pound US dollar is approaching that level. Pound CAD still left with just a few pips to get to that level. Euro pound, you can see it's an inverse of the pound pairs. CHFJPY has already reached that level, has already broken. Does not mean anything as yet. Now, 2 things are going to happen here at these current levels. We are either going to have this as a 3-wave move to the upside, 3-wave move to the downside, a pull back up, and then a push lower. But there's no question about where the trend is going. So this is your trend. Is it going to make a bounce first, or is it going to go straight from those levels? So this is going to keep popping up because I've got so much data on the screen. Okay, so either we're going to have a bit of a pullback here to make this corrective structure, or this can actually go straight. If it goes straight, that means this is all the correction. Similarly here on pound CHF, you can see we had a pullback here. Let's use yellow. You've got this one in 3 waves. It has come down in 3 waves. The reason why I'm expecting a bounce more than this one pushing lower
is that it has gone in 3 waves up, 3 waves down. So there's a possibility for this to do this and then come down. Like I said, there's no question about the trend. The trend is downside. Okay, so we just need to get continuation. Either this is going to make a bit of a bounce first, or if it doesn't, then that means that, let's have a look here. Let me get my annotation tool. That means this 3-wave move is all the correction that we needed for this move. So then that will be this move that goes all the way down. Now, if this is the move that goes all the way down, that means you're going to get a corrective structure here and go. Similarly here, no question about the trend. The trend is downside. We've got this here. You've got 3 waves up. You've got 3 waves down. Okay. If you don't know what I'm talking about by 3 waves, this is your 3 waves. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. That's what I mean by 3 waves. Now, no question about the trend. Either we're going to have a bounce here first or push lower. Okay. If not, that means this is all the corrective structure and we're going to look for downside. If this is going to be downside, you're going to get a corrective structure here around these current levels. If it is going to be a pullback first, then you're going to get a pulsing move here. You're going to get a corrective structure here first. Now, similarly with Euro Pound that we have been looking for this downside here, this is what you have. There's no question about the trend. This one is upside. Now you're getting a 3-way move to the downside. Three-way move there. This one is pulsing. Okay, let me use yellow. So this one may tell us exactly what's going to happen here with the pound pair. So we've got a 3-way move here, but this one is not 3 waves like the others. Can you see here we had a 3-wave up, 3-wave back, 3 waves up, 3-wave back, 3 waves up, 3-wave back. Here you've got 3 waves up, but you've got a 5-wave move to the upside. Now that could be the clue that we are looking for. That if this is a 5-wave move, even if we get a corrective structure here, this is going to push higher, and that means this 3-wave move here on pound euro, or euro pound rather, is all the correction we need, and that means that we are going to be going with the red. If we are going with the red, that means we don't get a bounce. Here you don't expect a bounce because of this pulsing move. You don't get this one here. Now, euro pound could be the one that's telling us what the rest of the pound pairs are going to do. And this is what is going to happen. Corrective structures here are going to tell us that we are going with the red. Corrective structures here, we're going with the red. Corrective structure here, we're going with the red. Here, we're looking for the red. And if the red is what we're looking for, that means further weakness in the pound, and that will go down. Obviously, if the pound is weak against the euro, that means that is the move that we're looking for. So that is what we're going to be looking at. We're going to be watching this in the next couple of sessions. We are at these critical levels on the pound pairs. Do we move lower? If we break these lows, you get a corrective structures here. We get big moves to the downside. I'm going to go to individual pairs quickly. So we're going to go to this quickly. Individual pairs quickly. I'm not going to go into as much detail now, so you can see what we're looking at here now. So let's go. Pound US dollar, we already looked at. We're going to start with pound CHF. Let's look at pound CHF. Let's go one screen now again. So pound CHF, if you look on the weekly, there is your trend. You already have this as a 3-wave move to the downside. Okay, so this could be the pullback and then the downside. But pound CHF is actually very convincing for a bounce because you've got 3 waves up here. This could be another 3 waves back here. Okay, unless this is the degree, this degree here, that is going to make 3 waves here. 1, 2, 3, but you don't have this here, so this is not valid. So let's see what happens at this critical level. Pound US dollar, I've already shown you that. Now let's look at pound AUD and pound New Zealand, the ones that we did not show on the correlation. Now, if you look on the weekly pound US dollar, we've looked at this corrective structure for 2 years. It is now dropping. Okay, so let's see what happens here. So if it is dropping, that means the rest of the pound pairs may be dropping as well. So this is also another clue that we may be pushing lower with the pound pairs. Let's go to the daily here. Daily pound Audi. Show you the structure. Let's take this off. We don't need it anymore. So this is the corrective structure that I showed you what's going to happen last week. I showed you the size, that it should be this size, and now we're pushing lower. I wanted it to be this size. I wanted it to be this size. I wanted it to be all the X sizes. We've got that now. We're looking for push lower. Now this is what you're going to look out for. I'm going to go into the 4 hour. That corrective structure has happened in just a few moves. You've got that expanding flat perfect, and now you're looking for this to be a corrective structure. If you get this one here, the pound pairs may be dropping, and we are not going to have that level respected. Okay, so that is pound Audi. Let's see how this goes. You've got an impulsive move, wait for the corrective structure, and that pulsing move is in 5 waves. One, let me just show the corrective structures because they're not very clear here. You've got 1 correction, 2 correction, and then 5. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We should get a bit of a corrective structure here to get the move to the downside. It's pound Audi, pound New Zealand, similar. We also made these corrective structures. Now pound New Zealand is even more interesting because the structure is a lot clearer, and we could be going for one down here. Now if you look at pound New Zealand, hope my chart is not too cluttered for you to see. I'm looking for this one to be the move to the downside, the move to the upside, and then the move down here. I'm looking for it to come down here into the blue box. Now, how did the first one come here? This one made a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 waves pull back, and this one is making a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is not impulsive waves, guys. These are not impulsive waves. Those are 11 swing sequences. Then we're coming down into the blue box. So this is what we're going to be watching out for. So this looks like the pound pairs are still dropping even in the next coming sessions. Okay, so we will only reevaluate when we get to the blue box. That is pound New Zealand. Euro pound we already looked at with the correlations. So Euro pound last week we looked at this one this is the week before, we looked for it to push up here. Last week, we looked for it to push even higher because the pound pairs was still pushing higher. And now we are now at that level where we want to make a decision about the pound pairs. So this has made a 5-wave move to the upside. We should get a corrective structure and a push higher. So that means this move to the downside will be invalidated. But we need to watch and confirm which one is going to happen first. Okay? So that is Euro pound. That is Euro pound. Now let's look at some of the cross pairs, or rather some of the Euro pairs. Euro New Zealand. So Euro New Zealand, we reevaluated the structure last week. Looks like it is playing out like that. So Euro New Zealand, we expected this firstly. Let's switch off here. This is the move that we expected that did not play out fully. We had 1, we had 2, we had 3. Expected that we're going to get this move 1, 2, and all the way down. Okay. Although the target was 1,000 pips, we dropped only 700, and then it pushed up higher. So the update on the structure last week was that we're now looking for a possibility of a complex running flat there, and you're looking for this one to be a move up. Your running flat looks like that, 1, 2, 3, and we looked for this one to push a little bit higher. If you watched last week's video, we expected that this was going to push higher. Then we're going to look for this one to come down like that. And that is still the structure that we're looking for. Now we need to see here a corrective structure. Let's go to the 4 hour. You'll see that we already have an impulse, a very nice impulsive move. Okay. If we get this one correct, it's actually a three-way move. If we get this one correcting here, then we're gonna look for downside. Okay. There's no confirmation as yet. We're gonna have to get more data here, see what is going on, because there's also a possibility of this doing that, and then that first. Okay, so that is Euro New Zealand. Not clear. We stay away from that one for now. EURCAD. EURCAD has made this is a short squeeze on EURCAD and the rest of the pound pairs. When they made these pulsing moves, you saw the moves on the pound pairs, those moves that looked like they were reversing. Let me just show you here on pound Audi. You see these ones. These are short squeezes. Short squeezes. That all the short positions will be closed, and then you'll be looking for this one. This is what they do when they want to push the market to the down in the opposite direction. Okay, it's a short squeeze. Okay, so now let's have a look here and at EURCAD once again. EURCAD. So that's a short squeeze on EURCAD. Let me go daily. Right, so that is EURCAD. Now it's giving me two views here. I've been looking at this one to be giving me a move here, a correction, and then a move here. We do not quite get into the blue box here, but this may have changed the structure to be something like this here. Three-way move to the downside, a pullback, and another three-way moves to the downside, like that. Okay, so meaning that we're going to have this one as a 1, as a 2, as a 3, having this one as a 1, as a 2, as a 3. Okay, so let's watch this one here. So our blue box may be further than what we forecasted here. Okay, so because the whole structure is not this anymore, but rather just this yellow line. And that will be a W, that will be your X, that will be your Y structure. So watch for this one to correct and come down still. That's EURCAD, EURCHF. Nothing new here. You just looking for this to go down into the blue box. You just want this to go down into the blue box. The blue box is still quite a number of pips to the downside. You just want to drop this one. This was the week before when we was focusing that we're going to have a deeper corrective structure here. It did not even get a deeper corrective structure. It just continued to the downside. Okay, so we're looking for this one to come down into the blue box at 1.065 here. Okay, so let's switch off here and just show you the structure. It's 3 waves down, 3 waves back. We'll expect that we're going to have a 3 waves move here again as well. So EUROCHF, you don't do anything except to sell it until the blue box. EURAUD. EURAUD, we also looked at this structure now. We looked at this structure, very complex. We tried to look at it last week. So we looked at this to be a pull, a move down, an X that is in the making, and then we'll be looking for this one to push higher like this. Looking at this bigger corrective structure here. So let's go into the detail now. So if you look at this one here, let's have a look. We're looking for this A to be a 3-way move. You're looking for this to be a complex structure, 1, 2, 3, and then you're looking for this to make another 3-wave structure here. Let's switch off them now so it can be clearer. And within this one, I hope you can see the blue here. We've got 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 up. We could be looking for 1 up. Let's just see here. Yes, 1 up here to come down here. Then that fits like that. So then what you have here is a W, is a X, is a Y. But now we are here, we are looking for this move. We're looking for this one to come down here first. That's the trade that we're looking for. But we need to get an entry. Looks like we've got a very nice impulsive move from the top there. Let's see if we're gonna get a corrective structure here that will get us to drop. That is EURAUD. All right, so that's all the Euro pairs. Let's go through the cross pairs. AUDCAD. AUDCAD, look for this one to correct and come retest here, possibility of this one bouncing and continue to the downside. I'm only looking into the lower time frame here, but the trend is downside here, so you're still looking for this to come down. Nothing new there. Let's have a look here. Let's take this off. That's AUDCAD. So if this one is going to drop, that means here's to like CAD may still be dropping as well. Audi New Zealand. Let me show you the weekly on Audi New Zealand. You've got a pulsing move. You wait for a corrective structure, a deeper corrective structure here for a move higher. Let's show you the weekly. The weekly on Audi New Zealand, this could be a corrective structure here like this, push up higher, and then we come down. So that's what we're going to be looking for. So that's why I'm expecting that you're going to have a corrective structure here and a push higher before we come down. You can see that on the daily, let's go to the daily, you see something interesting about what corrections do. Now, if you look at this corrective structure, it was coming down here correctively. Let's take this measuring tool. From the time this correction started up until this, that is 96 days, okay? Almost 96 days, this has been coming up with that move. So for 96 days, it made this move. But in just one day, 50% of that whole move was retraced. That is the difference between a pulsing move and a corrective move. A corrective move takes forever. And we are looking for these quick moves, not this corrective structure. For 95 days, it has just been going down correctively, even though the trend here was prevailing to the downside. But you can see that it's very difficult to make money here. I mean, 95 days for just those pips. One day, 50% of that whole move. Now, what are we expecting? Maybe another couple of days correction here and another 1 day to complete that move. Maybe a day or two. Those are the moves that you're looking for. Okay, so that is Audi New Zealand, New Zealand CAD. New Zealand CAD, still expecting further downside. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. 11 swing sequence here. W, X, Y, X, Z. Okay, so that's what we're looking for here. New Zealand CAD continues in pattern to the downside. New Zealand Chief. Are we going to break this low here? Or we're going to make a bounce and a down? I believe we're going to correct at current levels and we're going to go one more down. That's New Zealand Chief. Audi Chief. Same with the Audi PES, we're still looking for further downside. CAD Chief. Got a bit of a bounce here. Wait for corrective structure and wait for this. Could be a three-way move to the upside and then one down again. And lastly, oil. Let's look at Brent crude. So oil, we looked at this corrective structure, 1, 2, 3, and expected this one to drop back to this level. Looks like it's on its way there. If you get another corrective structure there, you're taking it down. So you'll have this move here on oil. So let's have a look here in the lower degree, see if that is corrective enough for us to take that to the downside. Looks corrective enough. It is a three-way move. It should continue to the downside. Okay, so that is what you're going to be looking at on oil. And that's all I had for you this week, guys. Good luck in the next coming trading sessions and have a nice, great week. Lots of money still. We are towards the end of the trends here now. We need to get some pullbacks. So be careful when you trade. Thank you guys. Have a great week. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a great one. Cheers. Bye-bye.